Yeah. Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. We're them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is a perfect distraction. Pop us in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smooth.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? The comment. I'm in your house. We're here. We're ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits. Because hey, I'm with the shits. And I'm ready to talk a little wrestling. That is right. You already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And that's exactly what we intend to do. And I am back once again. As I keep coming back, giving y'all that work over and over and over and over and over. You guys get the drill by now. And that's because I'm here giving you guys my solo shot on Monday Night Raw. Last night, the King of the Ring tournament continued. And man, it was a great night, and it was a great episode. I didn't get a chance to watch it live, but I did go back and watch everything as much as I possibly could. Went back. And you guys know how it is. If you guys have Hulu and you guys have to watch the show on Hulu if you don't catch it live, you know that Hulu doesn't show you every little thing. So there's still things that I haven't seen and still stuff that I gotta watch. But I definitely want to get you guys this solo shot out there. As we got my man the Grunmeister coming through real quick. What's up, bro? But yeah, man, Monday Night Raw was an interesting watch. And you know, we kicked off the night there with Sami Zayn coming out with the Intercontinental Championship. He ended up having a match with Chad Gable. Perk Gable, as we saw in the crowd there. Got it right here too. I got it on my nameplate here. But yeah, man, definitely those vibes. But you know, it was cool to see Sami Zayn come out to the show and open the show, and he got a chance to hit the welcome to Monday Night Raw, and you know, it was cool to have him have that moment. And then he ends up having a match with Gable, and we know the type of match that these guys can have, but you can tell that this was very heavily story driven. This match was, and you could see because you had Maxine and Tozawa and of course Otis just getting dressed down by Gable like they pretty much have every single week. I mean, if you guys are watching it, you guys are seeing it. You know, he is just abusing his academy. It's absolutely ridiculous. But this is how he's choosing to run his academy. You know, he said he's been too nice. He thinks it's time for him to switch up his mentality. And, you know, there's these little Easter eggs that's going around. You see it later on in the show, and I'll talk a little bit about it. But this match was what it was. Maxine refused to put hands on Sami Zayn during the match to help Gable cheat. So did Tozawa. He refused. But, you know, there was a point in the match where Otis had refused. But, you know, he did what he had to do for his homie Gable, even though it took a slap in the face to get him there, and he helped him win the match. Otis helped Gable win the match. This is an interesting story that they're having right now, of course, with Chad Gable, and an interesting pivot. You know, I definitely see big things happening for Gable coming up in the future. Maybe not winning this championship this Saturday at the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. But also, there's a thought in my mind that maybe that's when we see the Creed brothers come out and possibly help Chad Gable win the championship. Like I said, there was Easter eggs. We saw that Easter egg later on in the show when Chad Gable was having a conversation with the Creed brothers backstage. And what were they talking about? You know, he said, "Remember what I told you." What was that he told the Creed brothers before he talked to Otis and said, and, you know, pretty much did his thing manipulating Otis and saying he's got his plane tickets, he's got his passport, everything for Saudi Arabia, and, you know, he's going to make sure that he does the right thing. And Otis is so conflicted. I think it was The Voice that said it in the chat that he said Otis is about to be a huge babyface. And yeah, I think we're going to see another big babyface run out of Otis. He's going to make a decision. As a matter of fact, now that I see it, I think he's not exactly going to cost Gable the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, he could definitely turn on Gable at King and Queen of the Ring, or he can end up not doing what Gable tells him to do at King and Queen of the Ring, which results in Gable losing. Like maybe he asked for the title to hit Sammy with. He asked for the title and he wants to hit Sammy with it. Referee can't do anything. It's a triple threat match. But instead, let's just say maybe Otis hesitates. He hesitates, doesn't give him the title, and this leads to a haluva kick and boom, boom, boom. Sammy retains. Then Monday night on Raw, Chad Gable comes out. He calls Otis out to the ring, and he pretty much berates him and says that he's nothing and this and that, yada, 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 back and forth, and, slaps him, cause he's already slapped him twice, so it's like, how many more times is he going to get slapped? And I think that once he slaps him again, that is when Otis is going to retaliate, big pop, and I could see that next Monday on Raw if he ends up not helping Gable win the championship at King and Queen of the Ring. So that's just a thought as far as that goes. But I think it's good. I think it's good story development for everything that Chad Gable is doing, and now he's got Otis tied into it. Still, he's still keeping in contact with the Creed brothers, and then last week I think he was talking to Ivy Nile. Yeah, they're definitely about to do something different and put a different crew around Chad Gable that's just going to make things for him hit different. So I think that's something to look forward to, most definitely. But once again, in this night, we had a lot of King and Queen of the Ring activity as Lyra Valkyria ended up defeating Io Sky via pinfall. It was a pretty good match, and I think that we're going to see this continuation of the build of Lyra Valkyria. I think a lot of people are slowly starting to get behind her, and she picked up a huge win against Io Sky. And Io was shocked, as she should have been. She's a former women's world champion, women's champion. So it's tough, and it's going to make you think, what's next for Io Sky? What's next for Damage Control? So, yeah, that's just a thought as far as that goes. Oh, we got some from Grunmeister here. This is the one part I'm completely unsure of, which direction they are going with the Alpha Academy. I'm sure the destination is Gable with the Creeds and Nile, but I don't know how they are getting there. That is a good question and a good thought. So it seems like that's where they're going, but how do they get there? So it's a thing. Possibly it could be a situation where when Otis turns, they could have the Otis and Gable match somewhere down the line coming, and maybe you do it on a Monday Night Raw or something like that, or maybe even, I'm not sure, some sort of, I don't know, a PLE of some sort, maybe Money in the Bank, I don't know, but do Otis versus Gable, and right as Gable or Otis is about to beat Chad Gable, that's when you have the Creeds come out and maybe run interference and help Chad Gable defeat Otis. So who knows? That's just maybe a way that you get there. I'm also kind of relieved Lyra Valkyria won too, because she was my pick to go to the finals. So I was happy to see that. And we have David Ian. I hope I said that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. I hope Io Sky will be back on top one day. I think she will. I don't think we've seen the last of her on the top of the mountain, to be honest with you. I just think now that she's back down the card, they got to try to build her back up again. So, yeah, it's all got to start somewhere, and now it's about to be a soft reset for Io Sky and possibly even Damage Control in its entirety. But it's great that Damage Control is still around, because there's definitely a place for them, and there's different things that they can do on Monday Night Raw as opposed to when they were on Friday Night SmackDown. So new stories, new rivalries, new enemies, maybe new alliances, we don't know. Maybe new members, we don't know. Don't even know where Asuka's been at. Is Asuka out on injury or something? If something happened, I didn't see it, but I just noticed she hasn't been on the show like that. But a lot of things happening that didn't have anything to do with the King of the Ring tournament. Well, it kind of did. I mean, it kind of did, because Braun Breaker was most definitely feeling some type of way about the fact that he wasn't in the King of the Ring tournament. He felt like he should have been in the tournament. He had a match. He had a match against Kale Dixon, which is, of course, just a local, probably a local guy. But my God, he just utterly destroyed this man. I mean, the spears were disgusting. His explosiveness is just, oh my gosh, his intensity. And, you could already hear the crowd kind of barking for him or and things of that nature. They're obviously pushing him to be this smash mouth heel. And I think it's a great lane. You can't control him. You should have put him in the tournament. He's got this huge chip on his shoulder, and he's just mean as all hell. I mean, when he ran around that ring and speared that man, like, he just took his soul away. He took that man's soul away when he speared him like that. And then, not even the fact that he took the chair he had with the steps, put his head in the steps and hit the chair. They had to get the ambulance out there. Good Lord. What? This is how we're introducing Braun Breaker? Because if it is, I'm here for it. I agree with you, Grummeister. I do. Because, my God, what a presentation. That's how you bring somebody out of the gate. I'm automatically interested in what Braun Breaker's going to do next. Like, I don't even want, honestly, it's going to be what they're probably going to do is give him a bunch of, give him a bunch of jobbers, ham and eggers, or whatever you want to call them, for the next few weeks, just to let him destroy him until he actually has his first real feud, which his first real feud looks like, actually, I take that back, because I forgot. His first real feud looks like it could possibly be against Ricochet. He just sat up there and just mowed through Ricochet for absolutely no reason. And you know what? I'm here for it. If Braun Breaker wants to keep going and beating everybody up backstage till he gets what he wants, let's do it. I don't think we've had this type of unpredictable element really on WWE for a little bit. Where it's, people can just get hurt backstage. I mean, we even saw what happened with, I think it was Cruz del Toro backstage. He got hurt. He got by Carlito, and Carlito trying to lay low. We'll get to that. Judgment Day still doing things. But, man, Braun Breaker was impressive. I mean, it was obviously a match, an enhancement match to make him look good. They just let him destroy this man. It was crazy. Ambulance coming. You got Adam Pearce trying to get up in Braun Breaker's face. That didn't work. Didn't work at all. My God. But, you love to see Adam Pearce try. I don't know. Adam Pearce is cool, but, man, Nick Aldis, I don't know. I like him better. I do. But, man, once again, this is a good episode of Monday Night Raw with a lot of different elements. You had the World Tag Team Championships being defended. It's Awesome Truth defeated the Judgment Day. You had Braun Strowman come out, and Carlito was out there trying to run interference. And McDonough and JD or McDonough and Finn didn't get the job done. And there's interesting happenings going on with the Judgment Day. What's next for them? It feels like their entire it's different. It feels different. Of course, with Mommy not there, obviously, and then you have Carlito going in there. Nobody really knows what Dominic Mysterio is doing during injury. He just be doing stuff. He's just doing things. I'm like, bro, calm down. Calm down, bro. But yeah, he's out there lurking, doing his thing. And then now you got Finn, who's in a tag team with his boy JD, and it's like, what are we doing here? You got the World Heavyweight Champion with Damian Priest. He's trying to figure things out too. He's trying to get everything together with this group, and he's trying to he's trying to establish himself as the leader of the group. He's putting his flag down as the champion, as the leader of the group. So it's like, what's the next step there for the Judgment Day? You got to think. You gotta ask yourself that. My man Hypocrisy Jones there in the chat. Appreciate you sliding through, bro. Aldis is better, but at least they are both acting like actual GMs. Yes, Grandmaster, I agree with you. I think there's definitely a place for our GM characters on the show, and for them to not be punked. For like, I definitely don't see. I definitely don't see anything as far as Nick Aldis and even Adam Pearce getting punked. They stand their ground, they stand firm with the talent, and they need somebody like that. You don't need somebody countering down to the talent. You got the power, you got the authority, so use it. You know? Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on hype with Liv and Dom. There's definitely something going on there, and if Mommy catches it, when she comes back, she's going to be steaming mad. And, that's honestly an interesting thing, because this is honestly an interesting position to once again put a lot more heat on Dominic Mysterio. I mean, we already know that anytime he came out, he was getting boos. But being associated with Mommy, who came around and now felt like starting to be more of like a babyface, what if he turned on Mommy? What if he turned on Rhea Ripley and sided with Liv Morgan? Whew. That heat would coming right back again, all those boos. And it could actually help out Liv Morgan too. So who knows? You never really know. We'll see what happens, because Liv Morgan is going to be facing off against Becky Lynch this weekend, and of course that's going to be the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. And they had an exchange. You had Liv Morgan coming out to Becky Lynch and stating her claim about her revenge tour and everything that she intends to do and become champion. I still feel like personally that Liv Morgan still needs a little bit of work on the mic. And, she's trying her hand at playing heel here. Becky Lynch is Becky Lynch. I did kind of like that Liv Morgan was saying how, Becky was gaslighting the crowd. Because I think that's an interesting pivot as far as that goes. Like to be like, all right, like, oh, you think you're this great person or whatever, but really you're just tricking all these people. We've seen that used time and time again. So they're definitely trying things with Liv. Liv's purpose came into question, now that she has one. And Becky Lynch getting into a passionate promo like she's known to do, talking about this has been her focus, her purpose since like she was 15 years old, babyface things, and it's the stuff that a babyface should say. I don't know what's going to happen in this match. It's a possibility Liv could win, but there's a bigger possibility that Becky Lynch could retain. So no telling what exactly is going to happen, but we'll see what happens down the line. Tony Gonzalez asking, OG Tony asking, do you think we get Demon Finn down the road? No, not unless there's a reason for him to come back. Not unless the stakes are high enough for him to have to come back. If he's going to keep going down the road that he's going now for a while, I don't see Demon Finn coming back for quite a while. So my answer to that is no, I don't think so. And I think it's going to be a long time until we see him. And I think if we ever see him, it's going to be because Finn Balor is in the main event or he's in a very heated rivalry that calls for this to happen. But since that don't seem like either one of those things are happening anytime soon, no, I don't see that. I don't see that at all. I really don't. But yeah, we've had, like I said, there was a few things that happened in this show, and I didn't see every single thing, but I will go back and check it out and maybe talk a little bit more about it as we move closer to the King of the Ring tournament this coming Saturday. Another afternoon PLE. That's going to be great. We had Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark defeat Ivy Nile, Maxine Dupree, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter, and Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane for the number one contendership for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Baszler pinned Dupree, of course, the weakest link, Maxine Dupree. And it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. I mean, these are two women that I think that we had touted for the tournament, to go deep in the tournament. Neither one of them did. And we talked about that as well. But it's interesting to see what they're going to do, because right now you have Bianca Belair and you have Jade Cargill as champions right now, and Bianca Belair is still in the Queen of the Ring tournament, and we'll see if she advances this coming Friday. and that's going to be interesting to see as well. But yeah, it was an interesting episode of Monday Night Raw where it seemed like a lot of things happened, and you even have the addition of what is it that Karrion Kross is doing? There's just little things like this. You have him going, and there's Xavier Woods. You have him approaching him, and he has Scarlett with him. He's asking him if he's cleared. He says, good. And you have him lending support. I mean, I'm looking at it right now as it's happening. He says there's even more time. I'm looking at it right now as it's happening. What's this interesting look on the... I mean, he's got the mustache there with Karrion Kross. The hair is long. A lot of people liked him better when he had the shaved head, but he's keeping it long. Looks like he's keeping it long. He's committing to it. So that's what we're having there. What's going on with that? Didn't we have another QR code as well? I haven't got a chance to look into that. A lot of things. See, there was a lot of stuff that happened in this Monday Night Raw, which is why I got to go back and look at every single thing. But yeah, it was a pretty good episode, pretty interesting episode, and now we move forward to SmackDown, and of course we have NXT as well, but we're moving forward to the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. What are the finals going to be? It's going to be interesting to see and how far and where we can go. So now the last thing we got to talk about here before we ride off into the sunset here, call this a really great episode, is of course the main event, and we had Gunther. Gunther moved on. He moved on to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, and it was really I liked how it happened, honestly, because it kept Jey Uso from looking really weak. He passed out instead of tapped out, which is a thing that every wrestler that wants to keep themselves over and keep themselves looking strong, if they have to lose, they'd rather pass out than tap out, and they did that. So Gunther moves on, and what was a good match. I don't think it quite reached the heights of some of the other tournament matches, but there was plenty of solid action. So it's a lot of things that you want to see. It was a good match. Gunther is just great at pulling people to his level and forcing them to go outside their comfort zone and just be even better. I really believe that when you get in the ring with Gunther, you do come out on the other side better. He's just really solid, and I just don't see the fact that, Jey Uso, yes, he's over. He's very over with the fans, but Gunther losing so quickly in a TV match, I just don't know if it was the time. I really thought that they would have done it. It just, once it got there, it was like, I don't think that Jey takes it. And we'll see what happens next with Jey Uso. So yeah, Gunther is moving on. I love the idea of him and Randy Orton. That's a match I didn't know I needed. Gunther and Randy Orton, that never even crossed my mind. Not saying, I know Tama Tonga's going to, but I just don't think they're going to do Gunther and Tama Tonga. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if they did Gunther and Tama Tonga, and I'd still like to see it. That's the thing. I'd still like to see it. But I just think that, Gunther and Randy Orton, that is, rounding out what's already a great card for the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, that just rounds it out really nicely for the finals. Randy Orton and Gunther would be great, and if that's the case, I would definitely feel like Gunther would pick up that win. So once again, got to slide out here, call this a really great episode. Just wanted to give you guys a quick solo shot and go over Monday Night Raw from what I got a chance to see. But guys, of course, it's that time for me to get out of here, slide out of here, and let you guys know where you can catch me at. Of course, you guys can catch me here at In Your House. June 1st, I'll be at Emerge 79, the Steve Branham Memorial Emerging Stars tournament. That's going to be really great. And then after that, it's just me here. I'm going to be checking out, doing my thing tonight, watching my Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. Nobody thinks we have a chance. Everybody's counting us out. They're saying we're going to get swept. Maybe even possibly a gentleman's sweep. I don't know. I believe in these Pacers. I think they got a lot of piss and vinegar in them, and they could be able to surprise a lot of people, but we'll see. So guys, you can follow me at Alakan House on all of social media. That's X, and of course that's on IG. And then you can follow this podcast, In Your House Pod. That's on X. That's HOWSE, and the W stands for Word. So, for the voice, Josh Joseph, for Hypocrisy Jones, for the world's most dangerous podcaster paragon, I am Alakan, the Concept House, here to let you know and remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on, or get gone. Because the household we still mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.